Freddie! It's Kathy the Catholic. Listen, we are in a plain cooking competition, dear. I don't know if you checked the old Instagram, but I made a beautiful soup. Oh, God, it was wonderful. And I don't know how many recipes you think you know, but yeah, I think you would really appreciate my soup recipe. Comes right out of a can. No salt, no pepper. And you know what? Red Coke goes along great with it. Dear, red Coke is not spicy. It's good for you. The silver one is the bad one. So don't get into the silver one. Get into the good one. Red Coke, you can even splash a little bit of it into your cat's water dish. And that's good for the heart. It shields them. So, Freddie, God, I love you. We'll keep this up for quite a long time, dear. So, have a great day. And God bless you. And you know what? I never liked Raymond, but I always enjoyed you. God bless you and your little heart. I love you, dear.
Welcome to tonight's episode of Kath and Drew, Church Without Borders, featuring your hosts, Kathy Renwick.
May God bless the heathens.
And Drew Garrett. Good Mormon. Tonight's episode. News. Does God pay attention to the Twitter universe? What's going on? Tonight's episode is brought to you by the Catholic Church Organization, the Mormon Church Organization, the Church of Latter-day Saints, the Greek Orthodox Organization, the Church of Hebrew Organizations of Jewish Peoples of America, and the Kath and Drew Foundation of Baby Snapping Turtles. How you guys doing, everybody? God bless you guys.
How you guys doing?
God bless you guys.
Everybody. God bless you.
As well, Kathy, as well. God is wonderful.
Red Coke. Religious, strong, willing, and blissful. Red Coke. You can pick it up anywhere. You just gotta go. Don't touch the silver ones. The silver ones, they have aspartame in them. They'll get you sick. You'll die. You don't want that.
Okay.
But that's my quick plug-in for our local sponsor this week. We did get a couple bucks there, so, it's been a tough week again for me.
Red Cokes.
I cannot wait until the election is done. Because when it's done, I'm not going to have to deal with as many heathens.
Maybe we can get to a place.
Priest Sadler insisted that we make all these different social media accounts to try to spread our message. Like, I know we are on the special network of church podcasts, and God bless you guys for doing so for us, because that's what's made us number one.
What social media
Toledo,
accounts are you on?
In Harding, Montana, as well as a few other places. I think Laredo, Texas was the other one.
God bless you guys for listening.
Yes.
And doing that for us.
God bless you guys for doing that. But so, Linda, she said, let's fire up a Twitter account, Kath and Drew, and, I was left to take care of it.
Oh,
and I'm gonna tell you, Drew,
oh, God.
It's not very, excuse me.
Jesus,
it's
is my
not
name
very
on there?
Pleasant at all down there.
All right, but
everyone's picking on me for no reason. I've got in there, and I've, told them about my credentials as far as loving God, making sure Jesus is number one, making sure you're cooking plain religious suppers, and I'm going to get to Fred Stoller in a minute. All right,
Stoller.
Fred? Because if you think for just 1 second you can make a plain meal
what is she talking
as well
about,
as I can, well, Fred. Fred.
What do you mean, Fred Stoller?
From Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh,
and from Dumb and Dumber and all those shows.
Yes.
Yeah, I know his mother.
Yes.
His mother's not impressed with him as well. She says, yeah, what do you do? What have you ever done with your life? I wish you could be more like Kath. He's admitted that as well, so.
Okay.
But yeah, Freddie's a good guy. I like Fred a lot. Fred and I are good friends, but this whole idea that he can cook better than me, well, listen for yourself.
You're not
listen for yourself.
Great
Fred
cook.
Stoller left a message here, and I thought it was disrespectful. It was borderline. He was just bordering on the line. And I'm going to get to it in a minute, Freddie, because if you want to push my buttons, if you want to get me to the top of the elevator, you better not push me that far, because I will make sure that it doesn't turn into a joke, that it ends up being this whole back and forth with you and I, and it could last forever. I've already talked to Linda and asked to do a sort of Kath and Fred.
What do you mean?
Well, yeah, because I think
what?
it'd be a little more interesting.
Yeah, but my church is paid into
Well,
this
yes,
show.
as well. It
Yeah.
would make more sense then, wouldn't it, Drew?
How so?
Because,
Mormons have paid
what you believe
half
is a
this
little bit
show.
outrageous, and it's honestly not done any good for us on this Twitter universe. Let me get to a few of these messages here.
Oh, great.
Let me get to a few of these messages. All right. First one.
Jesus.
Karen Beth Staller. One-on-one. You want to go with me? Because listen to this. Listen to what Karen's got to say.
All right.
She, first of all, tells me, wow, is that how Jesus would speak to people? This is about me, by the way. She's talking about me. Do you think God approves of your dialogue?
What is she?
What
are you
so I'm
saying?
telling her about my pappy and how my pappy and I used to sneak on to farm groves, and we would, sneak unattended. We would pick fruits and we would, get the pies done up. It was great.
What do you?
And, she's all of a sudden, bringing stuff up like, wow,
Linda,
holy crap, I
grab
run.
your phone.
What kind of way is that
I'm
to
gonna
teach
look and see
people
exactly
about
what you've
loving
been talking
our
to people.
God?
Because if
and
my
then
name's
she's
attached
really
to this.
pushing me. She's
Linda.
pushing my buttons. She's calling me a toilet bearing. She said that I should be drinking Porta-John water. So she's really put me in a position of being bullied, and it's unfair.
Well, what could you be possibly saying
she's not the only one.
to these
She's not the
people?
only one.
Yeah,
I could go through these all day.
I'm looking.
Lizzie calls me. You should go back over the thread from your last 2 days. You're crazier and crazier. So anytime a woman's got an opinion, right away, you're crazy. So that's another one. What else is
How do
here?
we have
This
over hundreds of
we're
followers
not
here?
being
It's only
treated
been-
well.
What's
Drew.
going on here?
We're not being treated well. Here's this one. Habibi Analytics. This is talking about our show right here.
You've got
Rude,
937
indignant, and vulgar
tweets
lunacy.
in the last 3 days.
You're a goddamn heathen. Don't ever tell me
Kathy,
you know anything
my
about
name's
God.
on this.
I don't know who that
Linda,
guy is
what is
and
going
what he
on?
thinks he can analyze or
literally
what the hell a Habibi is.
Fights with people.
But you know what? I don't like the sounds of it.
What?
His
Oh,
avatar or whatever your picture is up there. It's unimpressive. You want to come at me? I'll stand at
Oh,
the top.
my
I'll stand with my
Lord.
Catholic sword. I'll be ready, and I'll have my boots on the ground on the farm grove. The farm has been fenced in since my pappy bought it from the Raymandos. And
Jesus, Murphy.
we keep the
know-
fruit. Nobody picks the fruits unattended in my farm. Let me tell you that. And the fruits have
Oh.
never been growing better because God has blessed me.
Honestly,
And there's also
it's-
another guy on Twitter. His name's Andy.
I apologize.
he's this
to Karen.
old man.
Deeply.
He's got this, face on him, gray hair. He tries to push me around. He said I was a
Oh, Lord.
toilet earlier. He also said that my kids would grow up to be Porta-John
even have
rental
kids.
salesmen.
You don't. What are you
And
telling
I don't even
these
have
people?
kids. I have
Okay,
nephews.
yes.
And then when I said I have wonderful nieces and nephews, he said, your nephews should end up as Porta-John salesmen. So, he's very disrespectful as well. Andy Russell. That's his name.
Oh,
Andy.
my goodness.
Piss off. That's whatever you guys say down there. And I'm glad I'm
getting
calling
in
these people
arguments
out
with
because
people
they're
in
trying to
different
blast me
places
like I'm
around
a
the world.
heathen. Well, I'm going to blast you back. My pappy always taught me, keep your left hand on the King James Bible because that's the side of your heart.
Oh,
And keep
boy.
your right hand on your rifle because the right party, the Republican Party, will always
there it
protect
is.
our Second Amendment.
Of course,
And
you
God
have to
bless 'em.
plug in
God bless them.
every time. Listen, guys, vote for
So,
who you
know,
want.
that's why I'm fired
vote
up
for
this week.
love and
I've
vote
kind
for
of lost
unity
a
and
little
peace.
bit.
She does
I've
this
lost
every
my mind
week,
a little bit.
and she will not
But,
let me get a word in
I'm
edgewise.
grounded
So
as
vote how
ever.
you want.
I'm eating well. I'm eating plain.
She could talk about herself
I feel better
all day
than
long.
20 years ago. 20 years ago, I feel better than that. So,
I'm sure, Kathy.
but
I'm sure.
I've got to make a call here, Drew, because
Who now?
I've had a couple concerns with me. Ethel was getting
Oh,
fraud
no.
alerts on her
Linda,
emails.
I thought I was going to be able to
And I
have
said to her,
a
what have you been
long
buying,
version of
Ethel? What kind of
Mormon's
websites
horoscope."
have you been on? Have you been on the porno websites? Have you been looking at Hooch?
Oh,
And,
God.
she's embarrassed because, Ethel's 25 years older than me. I'm 62, so she's a little bit older. But she's not as honest as I am, even though we go to church as much as possible. And every time there's a sermon, she's much slower than I am
Ethel
in terms
is a
of
sweet lady.
talking
She's
about
here
the Bible.
all the
She's
time.
much slower than I am in terms of being able to keep up with the pre-Sattler. And she's very slow in terms of making her way from the church pew to my
This
vehicle
is your best
to get
friend.
home.
I'm
getting sick of driving her, to be honest. But
she needs your help. She
doesn't
lost
have
her
a license
license
anymore,
Yes.
and I've
so
got to do
why
God's
are you?
work.
It's not
So-
God's work. It's
But
helping.
anyways, Ethel got some fraud alerts, and it made me scared.
Oh no!
So I'm gonna call CitiBank here. We're gonna get them on the phone. We're gonna talk to them and see about if, yes, we can get fraud protection plan. That's what I'm
Okay.
looking for here. A fraud protection plan for Catholics as well. I want to make sure this is specific for Catholics. So,
well, I mean,
Linda's got her on, I think,
you
hold
might
right
be able
now.
to find
Let's
one
make sure
through
we
a
plug her
Christian
in.
organization,
And
but you're
let's
getting
talk to her. Let's
awfully
make sure that we
specific
get this
on
going
the
here. And
Christian
let's make sure that I
pie.
get fraud protection because I don't want to be put on a pedestal and then all of a sudden brought down because all
Right.
of a sudden somebody's buying pornos and they're buying heathen magazines. Or signing
Jeez.
me up for some sort of, language course. Like speaking another language.
No,
Take
I'm
your
not in
Rosetta
agreement with
Stone.
that.
I'm getting parched. I got to drink a little bit of red Coke.
Oh, well, that stuff's going to kill you. But honestly, this is the only time I can get any word in edgewise. So, guys, November 3rd, head to the voting booth. Vote for who you want.
Daddy!
And just love God.
Grab me
and
another
love
one.
yourselves and thy
Okay.
neighbor. Peace.
Well,
Unity.
all right, Linda, patch her in, please. Patch her in. I would love to talk to her. I've got to get this sorted out.
Is this CitiBank? Perfect.
Please
That's
hold,
actually
and
nice.
one of our customer care specialists will be with you shortly.
Not bad. Religious.
Responding to the alert, this is Ria from CitiBank's fraud department. May I have your full card number, please?
Hi, it's Kathy Renwick calling,
And
but
Drew. Never introduced.
I'm nervous.
but-
I don't know if this is up to par. Is this official?
This, yes, this is CitiBank's fraud department. But if you're doubtful of this one, you can call us back. Just dial the number at the back of your card.
Just trust who
Oh,
you call. Kathy.
Okay. Would you be able to
Please.
answer a few questions for me just to settle my heart?
I'll be needing your complete card number.
Is your headquarters located?
We're located offshore.
Offshore. Okay. I'm a Catholic woman. My name's Kathy Renwick. I'll give you my card in just a second. But I'll tell you why I'm just a little bit on edge right now. I
Okay, go ahead, ma'am.
I recently started, just trying to pay attention online to different things in regards, because the election's coming up, I'm sure, as you know.
Oh boy.
So I'm trying to stay up to date, right? And I've had a
Get
few
ready to be
pop-ups. I
asked
had a
who
few
you're
pop-ups
voting
come up
for.
on my computer that said that they locked my web browser. So I called them. They told me they were from Microsoft. They were very nice gentlemen. They were actually very helpful at some points. But they told me that I had to pay them in gift cards. And then I had
What?
the exact same problem happening. So what I did was I made a what they called the Twitter account type things, just so I could follow
Yeah.
our
and my
wonderful
name's on
Catholic,
it.
beautiful President Donald Trump. I really do enjoy him, and it's hard to follow exactly what he wants us to hear when I'm
Vote for
listening
who
to the
you
news.
guys want.
You know how the news can be. So,
Yes.
I'm following him, and there's a lot of his supporters that told me, Kathy, watch out, because people that don't believe in Christ and Jesus, they sneak around in the back, and they try to, set up fake little numbers and companies and whatnot, and they try to take your money. And I said, who does this? And he says, the heathens, the ones that, they're non-believers of Christ.
Amen.
So
Amen.
I'm just I'm nervous, is what I'm telling you. This whole election's got me frazzled because of what's going on with this whole Joe versus Dawn.
Okay.
Yes. Are you? Will you be voting this year, dearie?
And there it is.
Yes, I understand what your concern is. So let me assist you with this one because you already received a fraud alert from us. So we need to check your account.
Okay. So you did receive a fraud alert.
Yes, we sent you the fraud alert.
Yes, that's why I called, and I've seen that. So who would be doing this? Is it somebody, like, I used to be a missionary for Mary Knoll across, I used to go to those countries across the sea. I'm not sure where you're located. You said you're over shore. I hope you're somewhere safe.
Yes.
I hope you're somewhere safe.
I'm from the Philippines. I'm from the Philippines.
Oh,
Philippines.
bless you.
I've heard quite a few good things.
Yes.
Yes.
I actually have a good friend of mine who's very Catholic, and he's from the Philippines. Very good man.
Yes, actually, this is
Yes.
the 80% of the population here in the Philippines are Catholic, and
God
me myself as well,
bless.
I'm a full-fledged Catholic,
Me,
Roman Catholic.
me as well, honey. I'm Roman Catholic as well. And you know what? God bless you. And just keep yourself safe, because I know the world. I used to work for Mary Knoll Missionaries. I did a lot of missionary work, and I was in Turkey. I've gone to other places like Kazakhstan. I did a little bit of a place down there.
She's
And I've
really
also
been all over.
And I've also been to Somalia,
everywhere.
and other places. Now,
Wow.
Somalia
Yes.
was very, very scary.
I actually served before at our cathedral. I was part of the choir and the one who's serving the priest during the mass.
God bless you. God bless. You know what? I'm going to put Philippines on my list of places to go now that I'm retired, because
Yes, please.
I had a really tough time when I was doing missionary work in certain places. I was banned from Turkey because I got into an argument with a fella. They have different beliefs over there. Well,
Yes.
the Kurdish is
Yes, exactly.
the Kurdish are nice people. So I was defending a Kurdish man who was being treated
boy.
terrible. This Muslim man was treating him like a toilet. So I went over there. I said, listen, don't treat this man like this. He is a child of Christ, and he is living light in such a blessing way. And this Muslim man, he looked at me and said, get out of here. You're just a woman. So I said, I just looked at him. I turned around. I
Not
looked
what
at
you
the
want to say to
porta-john. I
Kathy.
filled up a cup of water or whatever was in down there, and I threw it in his face. And then all of a sudden, he pushed me down. I had an injured hip. I yelled for the police officers to come. The police officers came, and they arrested me. They arrested me for blasphemy. Because I said this to him. I said, listen, Jesus is number one.
Absolutely.
This Allah character that you've created, like the Avengers in Disney, he can be number 2, 3, 4, whatever you want to place him. And this Muhammad character you have, how can he be so sacred if everybody's name is Muhammad? You know, there's a million of them. You know, how many Jesuses do you know? I know one, and that's it. There is only one.
Yes, exactly.
So,
Amen.
you know,
And how come it fall under blasphemy?
because you're not even allowed to say one critique about Allah or Muhammad in their country. So they put me and charged me.
Islam.
Yes. I'm not even allowed to say. I was charged because they said that I compared Muhammad and Allah to a comic book character when I made the Avengers comment. So all of a sudden they throw me in a prison. They tell me,
Horrible.
you're going to be here for a while. You won't be able to go back home. Well, honey, thank God for Jesus Christ and the Mary Knoll missionary. They called the consulate. So they sent down the American consulate for Turkey. He came in there wearing a beautiful Catholic chain. He had a cross on him it was like one of those wrappers. It was so big you could see it popping everywhere. And he looked right into the man's eyes and said, listen, she's Catholic and she's American. She does not have to follow your rules or regulations. We are going to be taking her home tonight. And they put me on a helicopter and I was brought back home. God bless America. Even the man that picked me up on the way home, he said, listen, Kathy, you've had a tough time down here in Turkey. And you know what? When we get back to the States, I want to invite you over to our family cookout. And I went to the family cookout, honey, and you wouldn't have believed who was there for like 4 or 5 minutes. Guess.
The president?
The Pope. I couldn't believe it. I was so excited.
Francis?
Yes, my knees were chattering. He only stopped in for 4 or 5 minutes, but he greeted everybody. He said, God bless you. And honey, he actually came up to me and he gave me, you know, the Holy Spirit, the trifecta, right over me. Like, I was so honored. I was so honored. And then when he was leaving, you know, I even got to share a little bit of my Mary Knoll stories with him. And he even said to me, he said, Kathy, you're very strong-minded. Because I had a really high conversion rate. Yes, I couldn't believe it. It was the single greatest time of my life. I'm not married. I have no kids. And this was the best time of my life.
Yeah.
And, you know, that was it.
Sure.
He didn't say much more after that. He just said, Kathy, you're very strong-minded. But then he got in with everybody. They all left and that was it. But I wanted to tell him so badly that I had one of the highest conversion rates at Mary Knoll. When I went to Somalia, I used to tell the Somalian boys, I used to look at them in the eyes and I'd say, listen, do you want to be pirates all your lives and try to jump on ships and do drugs? What are you? You're not following Jesus's light. You never did. And all of a sudden, I just look at them and say, keep your eyes pointed up to the sky right now. And I would read some of the King James Bible. I don't know if that's the Bible you've read. It's a very good one. It's the top Catholic one. And I would read them scriptures, you know, of the Hosea, that portion of the Bible. And all of a sudden, they would just say, I want to convert to Jesus. And they would start opening little parishes. They would start opening parishes, teaching. And I went back a few years ago. 95% of the young men and the older males were pirates when I first came. Now, They don't even do it anymore, honey. They're not pirates. They're living for God, they said, and they're sharing. They're starting.
Wow.
They're starting to grow fruits and veggies, and I'm so proud.
Unbelievable. God
My
bless.
pappy would be so proud.
Yes,
He
he
taught
would,
me
Kathy.
everything I needed about God. You know, when I was younger,
Bless
my
Pappy.
pappy, we lived on a farm, and we would sneak over onto the neighbor's farm grove, and we would just pick all the fruits and veggies unattended. Like, no one would see us. We'd fill our baskets up, and we'd have enough to make like 4 or 5 apple pies. And then my Grammy would make them, and we would go to church on the next day on Sunday, and we would sell them. And it was
Wow,
so
that's
beautiful,
horrible, Kathy.
you know.
You
and
know,
my
you could at
pappy,
least gave
he
them
would give
for
me,
free
he
since
gave
you
me my
were-
first King James Bible, and he told me, read
Oh,
this
my God.
every day, read it every day, and read the Constitution. Those are the only 2 things you need. He said, left hand on the Bible, right hand on your rifle, because that's on our Constitution, you know, Second Amendment. So,
Yes.
so we would do that. And then, you know, dear, I swear it was like a divine plan, because when I grew up and I turned about 19, his next door neighbor who owned that farm grove, they were foreclosed by the bank, and my pappy bought it for dirt cheap, and then he gifted it to me.
Wow. I think that's your calling. That's your divine calling.
Totally. Like now
for
I'm
sure.
living there, and I'm doing so well. You know, when he owned it before, the fruits and veggies were very half and half. You'd have some that were good, some that were bad, and a lot of people were taking the fruits and vegetables unattended. So that would cut into his profits. Now I've got gates. I also have a pack of, you know, big dogs. I love dogs. I never had kids. I love dogs, though. So I have a pack of dogs. I got 4 or 5 German Shepherds and Rottweilers. They run across the yard, and they make sure nobody's on there. I had the best fruits and vegetables in town. Like,
Wow.
none other. And you know,
You
lot
do
of
good
hard work.
vegetables.
very hard work on the farm. But we're always working on the farm to make sure that God is number one as well. I put a lot of work in wherever I go. You know, it's very difficult in this world to make sure that we're not being tricked by heathens, because some of these people, especially the non-believers, I don't know if you have the same opinion that I do, but the Muslims are the snakes with the apples right now. And they're trying to sneak everywhere and try to take over and make you flip your whole ideologies. It's scary. And I feel proud for you. For you, I feel proud because I've read a little bit about your is it a prime minister or is it a president that you have?
Actually, because president, yes, we have a president. Actually, because me myself, I grew up in a very strict Catholic family.
God bless
since
you.
I was a little, we are trained how to pray properly, how to serve church. You know,
Yes.
that's why I grew up in a Catholic family.
That is
And until now, I was a missionary before as well. During my college days, I preach on the jail, non-school youth. I teach them and I preach. I go to some places to preach as well.
God bless you. You know, I feel proud for that. More so than I feel proud that you have a very strong president who stands up for Catholics and who makes sure that you're not pushed around by the heathens and you're not, you know, one thing I'm really, I feel very, I don't know what the word is, like honored about the Philippines
Mm-hmm.
is your president is so strong when it comes to violence and drugs. Like, if you're going to live life and you're going to be bad and you're going to live like a devil, your president strikes them
Yes.
down. And I love that. I think
Yes.
I think you need to be, you have to have a Catholic warrior like that makes sure that, people have to stay in line. We have to follow God's rules. We can't just, be willy-nilly.
Yes.
So.
And church here in the although here in the Philippines, state and church is two different things, but church here is has a very strong, influence when it comes to opinion, activities that will support each other.
Yes.
People tend to listen more on church rather than sometimes on law of the country.
Yes.
They tend to listen.
Well, because they go hand
good.
in hand. I get in arguments with even my friends here in America. I get in many arguments with them on this same situation. They say, Kathy, you're supposed to keep church and state separate. And I just say, you know what? Throw out all your damn money then. Because look at your money. What does your money say on it? It says, in God we trust. And what is our U.S. motto?
Exactly.
What is the USA motto? Official motto is, in God we trust. So, don't come around here and tell me, let's keep church and state separate. No, we will never. It's on the money. We're never going to keep it separate. We're going to keep it together because that's the way God wanted it. God told us. He told us to make sure that we wouldn't fall for false prophets. He told us that.
Maybe ideally, church and state is two separate things, but in reality, they should work together.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to make sure we're living under God's light. We're not living in the darkness. Look at where we are right now. We have all these heathens throwing things inside of businesses, stealing Nike shoes. Like for what? They're saying things like Black Lives Matter. Well, everybody's life matters. It all mattered to Jesus.
Exactly.
It doesn't mean that you can
Regardless of the color.
Yes, regardless,
Regardless of the color, regardless of the strata of humanity, all lives matter.
Exactly. My pappy, who I mentioned earlier, he was the sheriff in our town. And he would come home all the time. And he would say, I gave 4 or 5 breaks to the colored people today. Like, he would never bring them in if it wasn't serious. He would always treat them, with respect.
Yes.
That's why we've got to keep ourselves focused on God, making sure we were dialed into what he wanted, because he didn't want boys chasing boys. He never wanted that.
Mm-hmm.
He never said, "Oh, get a best friend and fall in love with them and kiss them and go marry them." He said, "Don't do that." He said, "Find a wife, have children, be good Catholic Christians." Exactly. And now I've got people trying to steal money from me, like all fraud-like. You know what? Good luck for them, because I have no money on my cards. I keep no money on my cards. I have all my money in cash. It's all in the barn, in safes. I sell the veggies and fruits, and I donate half of my money to God. The only thing I ever used credit cards for was to sign up for PureFlix, which, by the way, is a great, beautiful version of Netflix. It just plays Catholic videos. It's wonderful. But, I don't have it.
So that I can check the one as well?
PureFlix. It's called PureFlix. It's like Netflix, only every movie and every show is Catholic. It's perfect. It's perfect. And, it's number one to me. I've never had use for money. I don't use it. I give it to the church. Just last week, give perfect example. I had $10 extra in my pocket, and it was all quarters. It was like coins. So when I walked into church, I looked right at Priest Sadler, and I said, look at this weighing me down. And I shook my pocket, and all you could hear was cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And he just looked at me and kind of smirked. So I walked over by the baby bath, you know, where they do the baptisms?
Yes.
I walked over there, and I just dumped all of my coins into the bath for good luck, you know, for good luck. And I looked at him, and I said, that's my church donation for the week. He loved it. He thought it was wonderful. There was $10 that they didn't have. And I write checks all the time. And, you know, Priest Sadler and we get along well. He even gave me $400 to start my church podcast. And then when I got together with Drew, my friend Drew, who I've gone to very numerous brunches
Didn't
with.
think I was gonna be introduced.
He's a Mormon.
Okay.
He's a Mormon, and we basically decided, let's make a church podcast called Church Without Borders, where we could just get to everybody. We could get to people in the Philippines, we could get to people in Japan, we could get to people in Germany, we could get to people in Zimbabwe, everywhere. Very easily through Spotify.
And it's regardless of the religion, right? Because he's a Mormon.
Yes,
yes,
it was
I am,
all
but
about
I still love Christ.
Talking about
Jesus. Number one, yes.
So, you know, I don't give him very...
As long as you believe in Jesus.
Only
yes,
if you
Mormons
believe in Jesus,
do, but they
correct.
also have some different crazy thoughts about them. So I don't give him very much time. I make sure that the program is Catholic dominated. So I give him a little segment, segment at the end called Mormons Corners, and he talks about different ways that Mormons can live. But I like to cut him short, and I tell my brother who runs the studio to cue the music. So he's not on very often, but we still get along great. He's there every day. I can say he is here every day. Yeah. So we got together. He went out to the Church of Latter-day Saints. He said, listen, I've met this woman, Kathy. She's very strong-minded. She's got a good Catholic Christian aura about her. She already got $500 from Priest Sadler in regards to setting this show up. Would you guys donate to us? And honey, the Church of Latter-day Saints, God bless them, they donated $460. And now we're running the number one Catholic Church Christian Mormon podcast in Toledo, Ohio, Harding, Montana, and Laredo, Texas. Everywhere else, we're soaring. We're soaring everywhere else, but number one in those three places.
That's great to hear that. At least you have someone who can help you with your mission.
Well, you know, he does all the techie stuff because he's younger than me. I'm 62, and he's 32 or 33.
34,
but, you know,
actually.
He does all the tech stuff. Yeah. I make sure that we're getting the message out. We've already got,
we are pushing
we're on
Christ
Spotify,
off a cliff
we're on
into
iTunes,
everyone's arms.
we're on YouTube, you know, we're just starting to really, we've got Twitter going, you know, Kath and Drew, Church Without Borders, number one. It's very good. You would love it. I don't know if you guys have access to Spotify or iTunes, but you would love it.
Yeah, we do.
Well, honey, check it out whenever you get off work. When you get off work, check it out. You will love it.
What's the name of the podcast?
Church Without Borders. But you have to put it so the full name of the podcast is Kath and Drew, Church Without Borders.
You can find us anywhere. We're on Spotify.
And that's how you
check that one later.
Yes,
YouTube.
Yes. When you get off, you'll love it. We have new episodes every Sunday, and I'm sure you'll love this. You'll love this Sunday's episode for sure. Surely you will.
Yeah, surely I will.
But I even forgot what we were talking about because you're such a good Catholic lady and very smart, loving. You know.
Bless you.
And if you ever want to give me a call and talk about God or anything, or you ever have trouble with anybody over there, and you want me to mediate the situation,
we'd love to have
give
her on
me
the
a call,
show,
honey. Okay?
I mean, yeah.
I'm always willing
we would.
to help a damn heathen. You know, I don't even have a CitiBank card. You've been after
Linda,
Ethel
Linda,
all
what's
week.
going on?
You know, shame on you. Shame on everybody there. We don't even have CitiBank cards. I would give Ethel all the money in the world she needs. She doesn't need anything. And I'm on to you. I know you're a damn heathen. You ain't no Catholic. You're awful. You're garbage. You're a piece of toilet screw. You know, you're nothing.
You have been kicked from this conference.
Bang!
Oh my!
Bang, bang!
What?
Bang!
What just happened right
I'm
there,
blasting
Kathy?
heathens. I knew she
mean,
was
like,
a scammer. I
mean,
knew it.
what-
I don't even have a
How long-
CitiBank card.
Wait,
and neither
how
does
long
Ethel.
did you know?
You know, they're harassing
she
Ethel. They're telling her that,
was a scammer.
I
What's
knew
going
from the
on
get-go
right now?
because I don't have a CitiBank
Like,
card.
I mean-
She told me that I had fraud.
I mean, just like
You know, what a
What do you-
mental case. I got her, though.
Jesus
She'll never
Christ.
harass Ethel again.
Oh
That's how you
my.
blast the
I
heathens.
mean,
that pumps me up. That
all right.
gets me going.
I mean, I'd love
You
to
know,
get in
heart
Mormon's corners.
pumping.
I know we're really close here, but
You know,
I'm
no,
gonna
we
start
gotta
up a beautiful
no,
Mormon's
no,
corner here.
no. We gotta
So,
end on
I mean,
a high note. High note. God, do I feel
course.
good? I just
See you guys next
blasted
week,
a
then.
heathen.
See you guys next
bang,
week. God bless
bang.
you guys.
And that's what you gotta do. Stand up for yourself. We are all good Catholic people. And you know, don't let these wolves in sheep clothing push you around. Ethel was getting pushed around. They were trying to get her to call, give them a social insurance number, all that stuff. You see what I did? I called them. I blasted the heathens. God bless you. God damn it. God bless you. I love you all so much. God bless your little hearts. We'll see you next week. You know, everybody comes around, but not everybody's been around. So make sure you keep God number one. God's always number one. He's not number 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. And let yourself just go. Get outside. Look at the sky, you know. I love God. Are you ready for more Kath and Drew? God bless.